Hey everyone, I'm OK Fixer, and I've come to you with a little bit more trouble with the Volkswagen, and essentially it kind of surges a little bit, especially around 25-30 miles an hour. It's kind of like it comes online, off, on, off, on, off, and hard to tell what it is. So I'm going to fix everything proper before I look elsewhere, and probably this will fix it. And what I mean by fix everything proper is I mean fix everything to the book, right to the book. Without further ado, let's have a look at something here. Sent this off, and it came back in my original mark with the D on it for distributor. So I sent my distributor off. Best things first. So we'll do an unboxing of this. Incredible time. I think 7 days from when I mailed it to when I got it back. The guy was chomping at the bit to do it, and left no detail, undone. And there has been a great deal of talk about this guy. I will give you his information. Also, I bought from him a NOS set of German Bosch points and an NOS German condenser. So we have that. He sent it back in my own packaging, so I'm thinking that he thinks that probably maybe I did a pretty good job. Don't know. Here is my hold down clamp that he rebuilt. Okay, we can kind of put that aside. And there's my unit. Look at that. He took photographs of this, sent them to me. Pricey. Yeah, pricey. But man, look at that jewel. He said there wasn't a lot of wear on it. The wear was very minimal. It was a very low mileage unit. So I have a, I don't think this is a German cap, and I don't think this is a German rotor, but the quality's there. I do have an original German dust cover, and he put new set of points and condenser, German points and condenser in it. And I will give you the whole lowdown on what he did, but this unit has been thoroughly tested, and so it's ready to go. Even the dwell has been set, and it's just a miraculously marvelous job what he did to this. Wish I had before pictures. Well, you can see them in my earlier videos. So we'll get that on. So I wanted to show you that. I'm still waiting for my carburetor. Now, well, I thought you rebuilt the carburetor. Oh, I did rebuild the carburetor. But it ran just about as well as that other carburetor. So I sent that one off too to have it professionally rebuilt. Because I have a feeling that the holes where the shafts go through they're sucking air, and there's some other little things that I want done absolutely perfect. And here's the deal with this: when everything is right on the money, it's one less thing to look at. Are you going to look at, oh, my engine doesn't run so well? Well, it certainly isn't the advance, and it certainly isn't the points, and it certainly isn't the cap or the rotor or the plug wires, or what else could it be? Yeah. So when you fix all that stuff, you won't have to look at it. You just have them professionally do it. How much does a distributor cost for a new car? Say if you used to go buy yourself a new Delco distributor for your $200 and something. Yeah. So what's the difference? Spend yourself $39, $59 on a sawmill distributor that's not going to run your engine right. Well, you just threw away 60 bucks. I know now that that's correct. I know now that that's correct. I have a light blinking. I got to change a battery. Okay, that's better. First thing I want to tell you is I am appalled. I am appalled that Bosch is allowing Turkey and Russia to build their ignition parts. Russia with the spark plugs and Turkey with the points. I'm appalled with that. Now, I don't have anything against the Turks or the Russians. I like Russian stuff. Just good enough is excellent. Look at their Kalashnikov. But when tolerances are a factor, and I believe they are on this car. This car is pretty finicky, and when tolerances are a factor, the original stuff is what it calls for. Now, let's have a look at 3 spark plugs. Okay, I bought these Russian Bosch plugs. Okay, and they have a R right there. And I bought these NGK spark plugs. They were supposed to be B5HS, but I got storied and they sent me BR5HS. You know, well, that's what I had on there. It was an old picture kind of a thing. So it's, you know, $12 isn't worth fooling with. Okay, sorry. I just okay. Well, I'm not going to buy from you again. Put that on the mark. All right, there you go. And then I bought these from a person on the Samba. And are they the W8 whatever? No, because that's not what this car calls for. Okay, if you look in your book, it says Bosch W145 T1. Now, they make a T2, a T3, a T4, a T6, a T8, and I don't know what the T is for. You would think, oh, it's a Type 1, it's for a Beetle. It's a Type 2, it's for a bus. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. Maybe you guys know, I don't know. But it's what I got, W145 T1. So these are the correct spark plugs for this car, right there. Bosch, Germany. Price. They're $6 a piece. Okay, so think about this. Well, it was $72 for 10 shipping. So think about this. How much do you spend for an iridium spark plug? I'm going to put this in. How much you spend for an iridium spark plug for your car? So I got a Nissan Sentra out there. Okay, I know they're $10 a piece. So when I do spark plugs, then it's going to cost 40 bucks. Okay, 10 bucks. Well, these are with shipping 7. So, sorry, it's comparable. You know, I understand you can buy these for $2. But spending $2 on this when you can spend 5 more, and get the right ones, why? You know, if you're using an original engine. Now, let's discuss an original engine. This is a point distributor. And we have a non-electronic ignition and a coil. And it's going to deliver what, 20,000 volts, 15 to 20, something like that. I think, I don't know what the net. And the electronic ones, they deliver 30 to 50 or something like that. Okay, I get that. So you can use the resistor plugs if you've got an. But I'm all original is what I want this engine to run just like it did originally. Okay, I want it all original as far as I can. So let's have a look at the resistance values in these. Okay, I'm going to put this on 20 thousandths, and we'll check the Bosch first. And it has 0 resistance. Now we're going to check the NGK. Are you even going to give me a reading? No reading? Okay, the Russian is 9.68, so that's 9,000 ohms resistance. The NGK is about the same. I wonder why it was giving me a reading before and not. Maybe it's got some crap on it. Come on, give me a good reading. Okay, the NGK is 5,000 ohms. Now, trying to hold that on there. There you go, 5,000 ohms. So, now, I'm not a rocket scientist, and I'm not quite sure how that works. But ohms resistance is the higher the number, the more resistance, I think. So, this has got 9,000 ohms resistance before the spark will go through. And this has 5,000 ohms resistance before the spark goes through. And this has no resistance. Which one would you want? I understand. I understand about radios and stuff like that. Understand that the original spark plug set had resistors in the screwed-on ends, okay? And that's why they used a non-resistor plug. Don't know if I have those or not. Probably not. But I much rather screw the radio. I only use CDs anyways. I much rather use something with absolutely no resistance, so the spark fires just as best as it can, than I would with something with resistance. And then I noticed something else also about this. Here's the Russian plug, and it doesn't have a number on it, of course. Why would it? You know, it's just good enough. It's a box. If you look at the Russian plug, if you look at it closely, even the electrode is askewed a little bit. So yeah, it's just not quite the same. It's just good enough, but it's not exact. And, you know, oh, Dan, you're being anal about this. This is what the eggheads in Germany did right here. And if you want your engine to run correctly, and you're going to want to follow this. Unless you've got electronic ignition and a 3-liter engine and whatever. But I'm not after that. I'm after originality, and I'm after it running right. And a lot of people, they just have regular driving cars, and some people have just regular driving cars, and they just have 1600cc engines in them, and then they put distributors without advances on them, made in China, and wacky wires and caps and Turkish points and Russian spark plugs, and wonder why their car tralfazzes and hiccups continually. If you ever had the opportunity to drive a car, a Volkswagen car, a Beetle or Type 3 or Type 2, with the engine that run absolutely at its optimum, and that is original factory engine, you would be just amazed. You would be amazed on how wonderful that engine operates. How you don't have to keep in the throttle in order to shift, and doesn't have any hiccups and bumps and stuff like that. And that's what I'm trying to get out of. Yeah, the engine runs really well right now, but I want my original carburetor back on there. In fact, the guy I sent it to said, yes, this is indeed the original carburetor for that engine. That's great. And the guy commended me on the distributor that my brother gave me. That, man, oh, you just don't see them in this kind of shape. It doesn't have any wear on it, and da 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 da. I'll give you the lowdown on all of that. I'll show you the write-up on that. In fact, I'll go print it right now and I'll show you. And then I'll give you his information. So if you decide to send out and have things fixed, then you get them fixed. Both of these, the carburetor and the distributor, to have them fixed and rebuilt. They also have them for sale. He has them for sale. It's just slightly more than it costs to rebuild them. I spent a little over $500. Oh my God! You can buy a carburetor for $79. Yeah, you can buy a carburetor for and you can buy a distributor for $39. Yeah, won't run right, but yeah. So I'm comparing this to modern days. Go out and buy yourself a carburetor for a whatever, you know, whatever you got that still has a carburetor on it. You know, everything's fuel injected now, so it'd be even harder and it'd cost even more. Thank God for there's people who can do this kind of stuff. So yeah, isn't that great? That's great. Well, you know, that's too much. I can't spend that much. Okay, well, that's all right. I guess, you know, I'm just trying to make this car the best I can. I'm not bragging about what I'm paying for. In fact, I think that amount of money it's outrageous, actually. But who else does this? Can you get it done? Those are things to consider. So, and I'm going to have the peace of mind that the spark plugs are going to be right, the points are going to be right, the condenser is going to be right, the cap and rotor is going to be right, the plug wires are going to be right, the fuel pump is going to be right. Incidentally, the guy who does the distributors also rebuilds fuel pumps, and the carburetor is going to be right. What else can go wrong, you know? What else is there except mechanical stuff like valves, so, or compression or something like that. So this stuff will make the engine run right, and I won't have to second guess anything. And that's a lot of peace of mind. The peace of mind to have something that looks that pretty and nice on your car, knowing it's perfect, carburetor also, is peanuts. That's peanuts. Peanuts. Buy some modern fuel injection parts for cars, and you'll see if you buy them from the dealer. All right, I'm going to get that information for you. This is the text he wrote me, if you can read it. Kind of hard to read. I can't print it. I'm out of ink. And his email address is right here. It's warbirdwf@hotmail.com. And his name is Bill. So there you go. Hope that helps. I'll link a description down at the bottom of the page. I have not stopped working. I never have stopped working. I have, of course, have a little glass business, and I'm mobile. The businesses that I do business with have not stopped working. My suppliers have not stopped working. Their suppliers have not stopped working. I don't know, I guess essential or not, it did not matter one whit to me. When I found out what the sorority girls in the media were doing, was trying to make as much or as much to do about this, I knew it was, and the numbers weren't there. I knew it was a scam. It was a duck. So we took a few precautions and wiped things down and cleaned things, and we've been washing our hands and wearing our masks when I guess, I don't know. But we haven't stopped working. I went out the day before all day. I went out the day after, and I went out yesterday. And much to those in the media, I did not die. I have not died. I'm still here, you bastards. Sorry to say that, but it's you got to say it. You just have to. The Chairman Mao Awards were laid out yesterday, and the governor of Michigan won for keeping everybody from going anywhere. You can't go out on your boat But you can go out in a kayak or a canoe. Can't go to your vacation home. A lot of people up in Michigan got cabins up there, and they can't go up there. They can't go. And I hope the police, because they have to enforce the law. I hope the police, listen to what I say, I pray and I hope the police, when getting these directives, well, you have to keep these people, they can't go to church, and they can't do this, and they can't, like down in Kentucky, they couldn't go to church in their car with a little speaker, like a drive-in movie. They couldn't do that. The families couldn't. And they were fined $500. I have had no sedition placed on me as an American citizen here in Oklahoma, so I have not acted to it. But I'm praying that the police understand what sedition is and what treason is to American people, and denying their rights, therefore writ in the Bill of Rights about what government cannot do. Okay, so when they pass laws on them or place fines or tariffs on them, I'm praying that they understand what they're doing, because they're putting their lives in jeopardy. There's going to be a time, and what's going to happen, I fear, and I pray it doesn't happen, that there'll be a group who are gone to church, and they've all brought their rifles, and those that have will try to silence them, or whatever activity they're doing for their life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. I'm praying that the officers understand what's going to happen next. So you need to understand the American people and how free they are, and because behind every blade of grass in America is a rifle, and those rifles are for tyrannical governments. Okay, and when a government goes rogue, like I believe they did in Michigan, and like they did in Kentucky or Tennessee, wherever that was, I think it was Kentucky, someone's going to end up getting hurt or dead because of that. So I pray that those who enforce the law will understand a bad judgment by their leaders. Go arrest these people for that. Go take care of these people. Go find these people. They need to stand up to their leaders and say, we won't do it because I'll put myself at jeopardy from an armed public. So I'm praying that it doesn't come to that. I'm praying that it doesn't. So, but I hope people understand how serious this is. It's very serious when the sorority sisters in the news put this plague on us, and we all have to stay inside, and it's all a load of crap. And even if you go outside and you do your social distancing and you do your stuff, like in a car or something like that, they arrest you because of a bad judgment by a leader. I hope they understand what that's going to end up happening, and I pray it doesn't. But it's the world we live in. Yes, this is the OK Fixer channel, brought to you by 10,000 barking dogs in the neighborhood. Yeah. Okay, let's see how close we are. I don't think you get much closer than that. Oh, look at that beauty. Isn't that beautiful? One thing about this distributor cap, it's not a German one. because it doesn't have copper contacts on the inside. This is still a really nice distributor cap. It's one that my brother gave me with probably the correct one for the car. Let's try this, and if we don't get the results we're looking for, we'll put this on there. I've checked it again when I tightened up my clamp, and mainly I want to use this new distributor cap because the rotor matches it, and this rotor here has been broken. So yeah, I think I'll keep that for a spare, and there shouldn't be anything wrong really with that distributor cap. It's an excellent quality piece, thick, and the distributor, or the rotor, is quite robust also, and it looks really nice, and it looks really well made, only it doesn't have brass contacts or copper contacts. It has aluminum ones. Alright, we're going to change those spark plugs out and start this, but you don't have your carburetor on right. I don't have the carburetor yet anyways. This is taking longer than I thought, so I'm doing one little bit at a time. Yeah, I'm going to put that carburetor on there, but let's change these spark plugs out and see if it runs like it did or even better. This segment of the video is brought to you by screaming children. I know you're not going to believe this, but your plug wire tops won't fit, depends on what kind you have, unless you screw these little gizmos off. So yeah, there you go. Also, I checked the electrodes really carefully, and I set them, and I found all of them to be out and 2 of them to be askew. This wasn't over the top of the electrode. So evidently the Russians were making these as well. So we're going to put these in, and one at a time, okay? Contact. I might set the choke on that other carburetor when I put it on. Since I don't smoke anymore, well, I could pretend to roll a cigarette. Hold on a second, I need 2 hands. No, I can't do that. We'll let that warm up a little bit. Should be running fine. Sounds good. It's been running for about a minute. It seems to be picking them up and putting them down really nice. Can't wait to get my carburetor for it though. This part of the video is brought to you by cars with no exhaust and wild weed eating across the street. Here we have our 4 spark plugs, and they're all pretty much the same. And in my eyes, they're just a tad too dark. You know, they only have about 100 miles on them. And I think they are a little bit too dark. Is it because they're resistor plugs and they're not sparking the way they should? Look, I'm going to go about this the Ted Nugent way. Okay, and the way Ted got his sound is he took a Gibson ES, a Birdland model, and he run it into enormous amounts of Fender amps. Okay, and there wasn't anything in the middle to screw up his signal. It was only a cable. So from the guitar to the amplifier, and the amplifiers with all the knobs to the right. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to do here, is I'm trying to eliminate the resistance in the signal. Maybe it's not a hot enough spark. I don't know. I'm thinking it's probably that carburetor that's on there. It's too fat. So, sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you. The battery packs in this camera, no matter which ones I buy, only last about 3 minutes. Fantastic, huh? So, I think once I get my original carburetor back with the correct jetting and get that dialed in, our spark plugs are going to be a nice gray color. So, there you go. Well, it's one step at a time. Okay. You recall I had some problems with oil pressure problems. So I bought these sending units, okay? And they look like good sending units, don't they? Don't they look like good sending units? Why, geez, they even got Volkswagen part numbers on them. And Volkswagen stamps in them and everything. They look just like a Beetle one, don't they? Well, they were advertised as Volkswagen Beetle, used, but gave no part numbers. These are for a Jetta or a, yeah, they're for a water-cooled. One of them's marked 1983 and one of them's marked 1980, but they both have the same part numbers. The part number is, geez, 056 something something something, so it's not a 111 part number. Excuse me. So be careful what you buy. I bought oil sending units and I bought spark plugs that were not what they thought of. Now for something completely different, a nice refreshing orange soda. Oh, I've never heard of Virgil's handcrafted orange soda. Yeah, neither have I. Well, it's not horrible. It's not the best either. You got to try them and see if they're any good. We have this place down on Route 66. Yes, sir, the Mother Road. Get your kicks on Route 66. Called Pops. And Pops sells, what do they sell? Ha, Pop! So they have all the old flavors, Crush and Knee High and all that stuff. All in bottles, Squirt and Sprite and all that stuff. All in the little bottles with the caps on them, stuff. They're pricey, but you get to everything: lemon, lime, and lime soda, and lemon soda, and orange, and black cherry, and 1,000 different root beers. I think they have something like 1,000 different flavors there. So, thank you for watching my video. I'm going to enjoy my orange soda, and I'll catch you as soon as I get my carburetor back. Cheers.